Hey everybody, it's Jay Monroe. I know that it's been a minute, but I promise you I've been super busy. But I wanted to take a moment to make sure that I stopped by today just to chit chat with you all just for a little bit and just kind of go over a couple of things that have been really on my mind lately, and that's been based upon responses and questions that I've been getting. Due to the kind of work that I do, I oftentimes get emails and Facebook inbox questions and messages regarding specific types of topics. And for some reason, the last few days, maybe a couple of weeks, I've been getting a similar kind of question, and it all has to do with the workplace. How do you navigate through the workplace and the workplace is toxic or a negative environment? You know, I really do know about that because I have had my share of working in those kind of situations throughout my over 20 years of working in corporate America. And unfortunately, it's something that's somewhat inevitable, but I had to learn how to manage it. And so I just wanted to take a moment to offer a few tips on how you can do that. It's hard to be able to do that. And being able to navigate your way through such a negative environment, it can be a morale killer. It definitely can be very draining as well. So I do understand each and every person who has contacted me on this subject because I have dealt with this issue myself. So, how do you show up to your work every single day, trying to dodge bullets and step over the landmines that you know are there, but you don't know exactly where they are, but you know they're there and they're ready to blow? And some of those landmines may have been placed there specifically for you. And that's the horrible part of it. But again, that's the nature of dealing with office politics sometimes, and it's something that you definitely have to be keen about and be smart about dealing with it. So it depends on your culture that you work in, what you need to do, and what kind of behavior you need to adapt in order to be able to get that. But I will say that what I have found based upon my experience is that those work environments that are predominantly female tend to be the most toxic and the hardest to navigate. And I hate to say that, but that's the truth of the matter. That's just my experience, though. Um, and I do have quite a bit of experience. So I just want to make sure that I give you a couple of things that you may be able to consider when you are trying to navigate your way through these type of environments, because it can be very troublesome, and it makes going to work and being able to function and be productive very hard in those circumstances. So consider these things. Everyone does not have your best interest in mind. That is number one. Understand and know, no matter how awesome you are and no matter how good of a person you are, and no matter the fact that you are a person that just loves to see everybody do well and everything, the truth is not everybody thinks that way. Not everybody will have your best interest in mind. In fact, there will be people that will be secretly waiting for you to fail. They will. And then there may be some of them who may openly let you know that they don't care for you and could care less about your progress in your work environment. So that's number one. The sooner you understand and know that not everyone has your best interest in mind, I think that you will be in a better mindset to be able to deal with things that go on in the workplace. Number two, you need to understand that you also need to be able to adjust your personality. And what I mean by that is you need to deal with different people in different ways. It does not mean that you have to change who you really are as a person, because you are who you are and nobody should be able to change that. But you do need to be a person that can adapt to the type of person you're dealing with, to the environment you're in. Where you deal with one person one way, you have to know and understand this particular person and their personality and be able to deal with that person that way. Not all personalities are the same. Some people have friendly personalities and they like to laugh and joke around and kid around. Other people are very straightforward and direct, pretty much stoic somewhat, and they don't like the small talk or the chatter. Get straight to the point, cut to the chase. It's who they are, and that's how you have to deal with that kind of person. You don't want to come off as the annoying, chatty person who likes to talk and laugh all the time, because you are displaying that kind of personality with someone who doesn't really like that. So know the people who you are around. Pay attention to what their personalities are, and adjust your personality when you are dealing with different types of people. So along with that, I would say number three would be watch and listen. And in some cases, be slow to speak. What I mean by that, always pay attention to what's going on in your environment. Know what's happening. Pay attention to what you see and what you don't see. Listen for what is happening and what's not happening. What do you hear and what do you not hear? You always need to be conscious of what's going on around you. Just being observant in and of itself is enough to let you know what kind of environment that you are working in. So you have to be conscious of those things. And then sometimes you need to know when you need to speak and when you don't. Don't get involved in every conversation that may find its way in your presence. Some of those conversations are dangerous conversations for you to get involved in. If you're ever in a situation where there's a conversation happening or taking place in your presence and you don't feel comfortable with it or you don't want to be involved in it, you can kindly remove yourself from that environment. Don't say a word and just go ahead and excuse yourself. Because again, sometimes people are just waiting to see what you have to say about certain things, and they will be quick to go back and talk about what you've said, but not what they have said. So that's that messiness that goes on in the workplace environment, but it's real, and that kind of starts and stirs up a whole lot of stuff. The he said, she said, childish kind of thing. It happens with grown-ups in very professional positions. So beware of that as well. And along with that, my number four tip would be to steer clear of the drama. Stay away from the drama. Do not allow someone to pull you into their mess. Just because they have an issue with this person or they have a problem with this particular process or whatever the issue may be, do not allow them to pull you into that. That's their thing. You need to make sure that you stay clear of things that do not involve you. It's okay to be there as a person that they can vent to or whatever, but sometimes that's what they need to do. Just allow them to vent. Don't make any comments. Don't make any suggestions. Just be a sounding board for them. And do not allow yourself to be directly or even indirectly inserted into that position, because then you find yourself in the midst of the drama as well, and you'll be trying to figure out how you got there. Well, you allowed somebody to take you there and get you involved in it. So be very careful about what you entertain in the workplace. Don't let people get you involved in things. Make sure that you bounce to your own tune. Make sure that the things that you do and get involved with match your own personal and professional ethics and morals, and that they coincide with company policy and procedures. Don't get yourself involved in things that could end up really, really coming back to haunt you in a bad way. So be careful of that as well. And along with that, my number five tip would be careful who you solicit information from. Don't go asking everybody and talking to everybody about everything. And that goes back with my number three tip that says, watch and listen, but sometimes be careful and slow to speak. Be careful who you ask and talk to about certain things, because the information that you may be getting from some people may not be accurate, or it may not be genuine, or it may be manipulated type of information. So be careful who you solicit information from. And also be careful who you allow to voluntarily bring information to you. Because trust me, the same people that are bringing information to you, those are the same people that are taking information back somewhere. So be careful. Number six, trust in others should not be automatic, but it definitely should be earned. Now, that doesn't mean you have to walk around being on pins and needles, feeling like that, everybody is against you. You just can't trust anyone and all that, paranoid about the people and all that kind of stuff. Use your judgment. Use your intuition. We all have it, and it's there for a reason. It's okay to develop trust in people, but take some time to get to know who people are. And if you follow those first few steps that I've given you, watching and listening and being slow to speak, paying attention to what's going on in your environment and what's not going on in your environment, you will discover who you can trust and who you cannot trust. So make sure that you have done your research and done your homework, and you've spent enough time examining your environment before you just start trusting in and everybody and revealing things and talking to people about everything, because the one of the most common things that happen in the workplace is breach of trust. You have confided in someone, about something very personal or whatever, and the next thing you know, everybody in your workplace knows about it. So again, I do employ you to definitely be careful who you trust and invite. Take some time to figure out who the trustworthy people are. It'll do you some good in the end, and you'll be glad. And also avoid clicks of any type. That would be my number 7 tip. Avoid clicks. Do not allow anyone to put you in a box. Do not allow yourself to be labeled. Make sure you're speaking and talking to everyone, that you're cordial to everyone. And again, you're not that person that's clicking up with these people, and because they don't like these people or those group of people in that department or whatever, I think I just won't like them either. No, you need to set your own standards. You need to do you. Do not allow anybody to attach strings to you and make you out of a puppet. Do your own thing and follow your own guide. And don't let anybody else lead you around by the nose. This is your career. This is your personality. This is your professional reputation and personal reputation. So you need to guard it, and you need to be in full control of it. Also, know your job and know it well. I cannot tell people enough about this. Do not give people anything to use against you. Know your stuff. When you go into your job, make sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Make sure you know what you need to know. And even more, go above and beyond when it's necessary. Because again, there's some people that are waiting to catch you slipping. And you don't want to be caught like that. So know your job, know your stuff, be on point at all times. Because there are those people that are waiting for you to fall, unfortunately. My number 9 tip would be proactive and strategic about everything you do. Always stay 2 or 3 steps ahead of the game. Stay ahead of what's going on. And that's going to come about when, again, you're watching, you're listening, you're paying attention to what's going on. You have to learn how to forecast and foresee things and kind of be able to determine by your environment what could be coming down the line, so you can be prepared to handle those kind of things and to deal with those kind of things. Stay ahead of the game. Always have a strategy and be proactive about what you do, how you do in your workplace. Be strategic about who you are and what you give them when you show up for work every day. Also, find an ally. Once you've discovered who's trustworthy in the work environment, find someone that you know you can trust, because it's hard to go to work every day and you don't talk to anybody, you don't know anybody, they don't know you, everybody is all clicked up and everything, and you just don't have I know we don't go to work to make friends for the most part, but it's always good to have one if you can in the work environment, at least that one person that you know you can trust. You have developed a relationship, and that can be that ally for you. It's important to have at least one if you can. I really hope that you all are not working in work environments where there's not absolutely one person you can consider an ally. You wouldn't really need to rethink some things if you are in a situation like that. And then my final tip would be never let your negative work environment affect your health or your personal life. I've seen it destroy people. I've seen people have to go on medication and all that kind of stuff. I will be honest and share something with you. There was one work environment I worked in before where I ended up having to take medication for anxiety for a short period of time. I would be driving to work and my heart would be pounding out of my chest because I just didn't know what was going to happen once I stepped inside of those doors. What was going to be the issue? What was going to be the problem? And that was a very toxic work environment for me, and I most definitely politely found my way out of it. But not before it started to take a toll on me. But when I noticed that, okay, so I'm having to take medication now? Oh no, this is not going to work for me. And that's when I made a conscious decision to move around. Because just like I got that job, I knew I would get another one. And I know my worth. I know I'm valuable. I know I'm smart. I know that there's a company that would appreciate me and all that I had to bring. I absolutely did not have to be going through that. And neither do you. So take some time and think about your work environment. Is it toxic? Is it to the point that you can't sleep at night? You're going home stressed out? You're now taking medication? You're actually becoming physically ill? You're so stressed out you can't enjoy your family and your personal life? If that's going on, you really need to make some changes. I know that's not always easy, but it's definitely something that you do need to start thinking about and trying to work towards making happen. Because I want you all to be healthy and happy. You need to be able to do what you love and love what you do. And that's going to be impossible if you work in an environment where you have landmines all over the place just waiting to explode in your face. So, I challenge you, know your work environment and make sure that it's one that's conducive to your professional growth and health. And be conscious of everything that's going on around you. And make sure that you don't step on any landmines. So, take that information, evaluate your situation, and figure out if there's anything different that you could do to make your work environment more enjoyable. For more information about my personal opinions and thoughts and ideas about workplace culture, professional growth and development, you can most definitely go to my blog as well, which is jmonroespeaks at wordpress.com. I have written several blogs about work culture, professional development, and things of that nature. So you can check out some of those there. But I'll also be stopping back here on my YouTube page from time to time to drop you a line or two. So I want to make sure that, I want you to be encouraged, and I want you to know that I want you to be happy in what you do. And I want to do whatever I can and offer any advice I can to help you do that. So be sure that you are happy, not just in your personal life, but in your professional life as well. So until next time, this is Jay Monroe, and I'm wishing you all a wonderful, happy, productive day. And I will see you again soon. Take care.